take some broken china, ice spruce, and we'll take also a little bit of cracked pistachio, and I'm just going to go in, add some of that to the craft sheet. That's just a good colors already. Spray that with a little bit of water. All right. And as I'm drying this, remember with distressed paint, if you want to manipulate it, you're just going to go in and add a little bit of water to that before it's dry. And don't be afraid to move it. You can also, if you wanted to layer color, go over this with ink spray. So if I wanted to, really add a whole different color, I could use either dilutions or distress to kind of add a whole different layer of color. This is going to be a cool background. I think I'll stencil over this. I love stencils. Don't we love stencils now? So cool. All right, so this one, as it's drying, I'm just going to go in and start blotting out some of that excess water. This is what I really love about the properties of distressed paint. If it gets very fluid, it becomes very translucent, and if it doesn't get a lot of water, it has its opacity to it. So that's one of the unique effects of working on a background with paint versus just ink. Okay. Then I'll go in and let's add some color. Take a stencil. I gotta take my cable off of them. Let's see what I want to do. This will be good. Here we'll take a little bit of typo. That's a good stencil. That's a great stencil. Here, I'll pick that up. Pick up some color. Lay that down. And just start using my blending tool. Now, I'm going through the stencil a little different, kind of going more in a pouncing motion than in a rubbing motion because I don't want to catch any of the pieces of the stencil, but you can see that it just creates a really great layered effect. Go through a little richer color like maybe vintage photo. And add this as a background. Now it's interesting when I think about the creative process, and I think a lot of people more this show than anything else, maybe because there's so many products now, I've really asked about the creative process. I think when you're playing around with inks and paints, you need to do just that. You need to play around and try different things, see what you like, see what works, try incorporating paints with inks and stencils, because I think you can come up with some very cool effects, some cool backgrounds that these can be used for other things. I think sometimes when you want to experiment with inks and paints, don't have a finished thing in mind. Just think of it as a background. This paper for what it is, even though it's not finished and we've got a smear and a smudge, doing this on a card, stamping a butterfly and a sentiment and having kind of that swipe and that spill it's great. It's something that just couldn't be planned. So sometimes when it's playing, it's just about saying, okay, I've played enough with this, moving on to something else, and then come back and this could be something I punch out of, I die cut, I stamp on top of, anything like that. So to learn more about the creativity of it, you need to just create, you need to play.